on OBS, but I was a little bit lower than normal. But here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of site Delta. We have our German and Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Mouse. It is HeRoMaRinE. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Blue Zerg player from the land of Canada representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. Here we go. You had KFC? Let's go. Fun fact, I have yet to have KFC here in Poland, but I want to. I want to have KFC here to see how different it is. It was like 2 days ago, I think. 2-3 days ago, I had Macca's. I think it was 3 days ago. I had Macca's here in Poland. And it is quite different. There are like these little like slight differences between Macca's and Poland. I haven't had Macca's breakfast in Poland, which is maybe what is more important. I should have that actually. I should have some Macca's breakfast. We'll see what they have. But yeah, it's very different to Australian Macca's. I say very different. It's there are some distinct differences which I find quite interesting. Yeah. The Chinese Macca's was amazing. Oh, let's go. In Sweden, KFC sucks, by the way. But that's what I mean, right? Like, I would imagine that things like the chicken would be different, right? So I imagine the burgers are different, the sides are different, like just everything is just a little bit different, you know? The uncanny valley effect. You go in and you're like, something's not quite right here. What's going on? So I look forward to it. Still not pedalkeys. We'll get there. As for the time being, we are going to be settling on in. For now, it's going to be a hatch gas pool opener by Scarlett, working towards Ling's speed. Likewise, HeRoMaRinE going for a Rax expand into his factory. Now, my eyes are on HeRoMaRinE. Again, the last time we saw these two face off, we saw all the Cyclowns we wanted, Bobby. All the Cyclowns. Will that continue? I doubt it, but there's a lot on the table, there's a lot available here for HeRoMaRinE. The first Reaper gets across the map, going to be dancing with those Lings. Going to be poking and prodding. Third base is already getting up and running, and HeRoMaRinE shouldn't find too much damage here so far. Good control out of Scarlett. Oh! Ooh, I spoke too soon as one drone does go down. A bit of a slip up there by Scarlett. Already a nice start for HeRoMaRinE. Gets one drone, gets the hell out of there. Behind this, going for a third CC before Starport. A very economic follow-up here out of our Terran. Now with this follow-up, this does mean that Scarlett is going to be relatively safe leading into the mid-game. There's no early game aggression, there's no big push that's on the way. And it's all about being as greedy as we can and getting away with that greed as well. Behind this, we have our Starport on the way. We are poised for an add-on swap. Speaking of, there it is. Tech Lab is on the way. Looks like a 3cc Banshee opener out of HeRoMaRinE. A very standard, again, very economic, very standard, very meta opener from our Terran. Meanwhile, Scarlett forces back that Reaper. Again, the add-on swap should soon be upon us. Producing Hellions as we speak, just for map control, just to deny as much creep as possible and contain the Zerg player. Speaking of, there it is. It should be for Banshee production. Banshees are now on the way. But I'm still waiting for the follow-up. This could still lead into a second factory. We could even double down and invest into additional Banshees, not just two. Now Hellions, they do dip in towards the third. Again, just harassing the Queen, making it difficult to throw down the Sumer, getting quite a lot of damage done actually. Oh my god. Very adventurous with those Hellions. Another Queen does get caught off of creep, but we'll force back the army. Behind this, we're just going to be droning on up, saturating our 3 bases. Queens are pulling back. And there it is. This is what we saw in Home Story Cup. That is a second factory. That's what I was waiting for. It is going to be mech. Ling gets in. Oh, quickly checking the vision here. Scarlett, she did barely see the second factory. Did she click on it? That's the question. Hopefully she did. As I'm getting deja vu. History is repeating itself. We're going into Cloak Banshees. Do have the factory on the way, this one with another reactor, so it's going to be into Cyclone production, I imagine. Meanwhile, Scarlett is going lair first. Pretty greedy follow-up here, going for the faster lair into... I mean, I say faster lair. It's going to be into that Bailey nest. If she were to believe it was bio, my eyes are still on Scarlett. As gases are being taken. There we go. Evo chambers on the way. And that is going to be a third factory. And we have the the clowns are coming out, Papi. Let's go. The clowns are on the way. And again, Scarlett may know what's going on. Again, I'm not too certain whether or not she did click on that building. I mean, she did see the reactor still on the factory, which may have been enough of a tell. As Hellions do threaten a dive, but are going to be forced back. We even pick up a Hellion, not too bad. Good moves there out of Scarlett. Banshees are staying back at home. We are going to be doubling down and investing into Hyperlight Rotors. And we are going straight into Hydras. Oh, okay, so this is something very unique to Scarlett. If you've been watching Scarlett's recent ZvTs over the past 2 months, almost since the beginning of the new patch, you would know that Scarlett in ZvT has been going for a Hydra-heavy compositions. Very light on Banelings and very heavy on Hydras against Bio specifically. Against Mech, I'm not so certain about this. We have seen some players try and go Ling Bane Hydra against Battle Mech, but the problem is that the new Cyclone actually just annihilates Ling Bane Hydra so quickly. The Cyclone does so much damage to them, so much DPS, which is why we've seen Zerg players instead double down with Roach Ravager as they've experimented with Hydras and gone back into Roach Ravager. So we'll see as the Queens, they're getting caught out. They barely have any energy to transfuse. Lings, they try to engage here, but the army does overwhelm, and Scarlett is being forced back. We have 7 Hydras on the way. HeRoMaRinE rotating over towards the south. Getting a couple of tumors. Again, the Queen's already looking quite vulnerable. And this is getting a lot done. We do force the army back. Behind this, they're making 5 Cyclones at a time, and you can see that HeRoMaRinE is just rallying everything across the map. He has momentum. He knows he has momentum. And without any links to defend, these Hydras are so expensive. And where's the detection? No detection. The Spore coming on closer will go down. The Banshees are going ham, and these Hydras are falling. Expensive losses here for Scarlett. Every single Hydra goes down. And HeRoMaRinE is snowballing out of control. Again, the pure Hydra composition just does not work here. Now we have 16 Lings on the way, but it may just be too little too late. As the base is gonna fall. These Cyclones are so low. They're all deep, most of them are deep in the red. But again, HeRoMaRinE just has a little bit too much. Lings are coming in. Oh, they get 1, they get 2. They get 2 Cyclones. The Hydras though. They pick off 1 more Cyclone. And we barely hold the hatchery. I'm surprised it's still alive. And Scarlett still maintains a decent worker count. Scarlett is holding. We're surviving. HeRoMaRinE has to back off, rebuild, I imagine repair. Behind this, we're going into Blue Flame. And Scarlett isn't in an awful position. Again, specifically because of her worker count. The drones, for the most part, were kept alive. We lost 8 workers in that defense. Mainly, we were losing army, which is less than ideal, but at least we maintain our economy, so Scarlett can focus on maxing out. It was an expensive hold, and this is something you don't see too often, but yeah, even having a worse gas trade here, HeRoMaRinE being so efficient here with his army. And Scarlett needs a little bit more time. We have Hydra range on the way. Sorry, Hydra speed on the way, plus 2 range as well. Meanwhile, the Cyclones, they do catch some of the army. Once again, no detection. The Banshee going ham on those Hydras. Good kiting here out of HeRoMaRinE. The Lings are being annihilated. You can see how quickly the Lings and Hydras die. And this is why Ling Hydra struggles against the new Cyclone. Ooh. As it's just so fragile. This is also why Muted struggle against New Cyclone as well. Do have 12 more Hydras on the way. Again, we've droned it back up to 82. Tanks have arrived. A little bit exposed. Yeah, very adventurous siege position there for HeRoMaRinE. Both tanks go down. Scarlett is forcing this back. Again, HeRoMaRinE being just, again, a little bit too aggressive with that. Did overextend with his tanks. Scarlett does hold. Behind this, we're working towards Infestors. We do have a lair. No Hive yet. Infestation bit is done, but no Hive for the time being. Drones are going down to the Blue Flame Hellions. And with the help of these Infestors, Scarlett can catch out these Cyclones. There is potential. There is potential for a big fungal. Now what's scary though is that we're moving away from the Cyclones a little bit. We're working on tank production. Hellions are amassing as well to support. This army from HeRoMaRinE is becoming that much more complex. It was once pure Cyclone, but now we have Hellions. Now we have Blue Flame, tanks as well. Oh, this army is becoming terrifying. You can see even the Blue Flame Hellions annihilate those Hydras. Tanks are sieging. Massive volleys go off. And the Hydras, they melt here. They did clean up a lot of the ground army, a lot of those Hellions, but we have even more on the way. Fungal gets thrown down, but it's too little too late. Again, the fight was a bit premature for Scarlett, attacking before the Infestors were ready. Honestly, if only we had fought with those Infestors, maybe we can turn the fight in our favor. It's possible. Do clean up the tanks. Once again, HeRoMaRinE overextending quite a little bit deep on creep. Oh my god. Gabe. Again, Gabe just overextending a little bit too much there. Does throw away some tanks. Catches a couple of drones. Reinforcing on the right-hand side. We're making 11 Cyclones at a time. Jesus! 11 Cyclones at a time. Ay, ay, ay. You could definitely make an argument that HeRoMaRiNE's production is actually surpassing that of Scarlett. I'm loving the changelings here. Slowing down the production. Honestly, if it wasn't for these changelings, it's very possible that Scarlett may have died. Like, HeRoMaRiNE is up in army supply. Imagine this army with like 5 extra Cyclones and 3 extra tanks. But there we go, we've broken free. Changelings are running out. Really cute move though. Like, honestly, it did quite a lot. It slowed down so much of the production. Something that HeRoMaRiNE, he didn't even notice it. The changelings, they're just dying on their own. Just running out. But 3-3 is on the way. Hive just now finishing up to get in towards Adrenal. Towards the 3-3 of Scarlett. It's going to be a kill on a CC. Very nice. Very nice pick up there from Scarlett. Meanwhile, yeah, you can see we're slowing down the Cyclones, making 4 tanks at a time. And tanks, they can do so well here against Hydras. Oh, as we catch even more Hydras out here in the center. Like, usually this would, going this tank heavy would force out Vipers. Without Vipers, it's going to be so difficult to really catch these entrenched units. Unless we catch them on siege. Oh! We get one. Speaking of, we do get one of those tanks. HeRoMaRiNE gonna try and keep on pushing. Ooh, Scarlett getting caught out. Oh. A good chunk of Hydras do go down. HeRoMaRiNE continuing to push on forward here. Moving towards the fresh mining bases of Scarlett. Creep is receding. I mean, despite the map control, impressive that Scarlett has as much creep as she does. Despite how aggressive HeRoMaRiNE has been. Stumbling Bane does connect here on the Cyclones. But this wall of tanks is brutal. Yeah, GG gets called. Scarlett, she runs out of steam. The trades were just far too efficient. And HeRoMaRinE takes game number 1. GG. So we have our answer. We have our... I was curious. I mentioned before, I was like, HeRoMaRinE, he played nothing but Mass Cyclone against Scarlett at Home Story Cup. I was curious, now that it's like, what, 2 months, 2.5 months later, have we adjusted? Have we changed things up? Nope. At least not in game 1. So GG, well played. Oh, sorry, I'll fix up the score on screen. But GG, well played. HeRoMaRinE does take the first game. And unfortunately, this Mass Hydra style from Scarlett, she does this against Bio, and she can do quite well against it. Here against Mech, I'm not entirely convinced, just because the Cyclone does do so much DPS there to Lings, Banes, and Hydras. You saw how efficiently HeRoMaRinE was trading. And to be fair, it isn't just how efficient his army was, but also how assertive he was with the army. You saw that HeRoMaRinE very rarely allowed Scarlett any room to breathe. He was just constantly in her face, constantly just applying pressure and making sure that the Hydra army was never able to amass too high, was never able to really get to critical mass at all. By the time Scarlett did max out with Hydras, well, HeRoMaRinE already had a wall of tanks. He already had tanks, Hellions, more Cyclones, of course, and Scarlett's army needed to be a little bit more complex to deal with the army that HeRoMaRinE had available. Specifically Hive Tech and Vipers as well. We saw that the Hive was delayed. The Hive was late. I'm pretty sure that is intentional. I'm pretty sure Scarlett would typically overwhelm her opponent with all those Hydras. She would typically hit critical mass earlier and be that much more assertive. But again, because she was bleeding out so many Hydras in the lead up in the mid game, she never got to that point, and the late Hive as a result was hurting her more than anything. Just because the Hydras weren't able to accomplish what I'm sure she wanted them to accomplish. And now we're getting into game 2. Getting into game number 2 here on Golden Aura. Let's go. Wrinkle cut fries at Macca's. What a time to be alive. That's crazy. Little dim sims and chicken wings inside at Macca's? That sounds insane. Gimch. Where are the pigs? And here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our red German Terran. Representing Team Mouse, leading the series 1-0. It is HeRoMaRinE. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Golden Aura, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player representing Shopify Rebellion from the land of Canada. Down in this series, looking to fight back. It is Scarlett. Here we go. Now, Mech again. that is the question. Back in Home Story Cup, they also had a best of 3, and HeRoMaRinE did play Mech both games. He won both games. I'm curious if that is going to continue to be the case here. Does he commit, or do we adjust? You know, HeRoMaRinE, something that I should emphasize, as much fun as we're having, you know, talking about like the Mass Cyclone and all that stuff, and Mech. He can play Bio. He can be a very fast player, a very effective player. He has just a wide variety of builds up his sleeve. He can go for the Beyond Opener, for example, just 2 ranks Reaper into a 3rd CC, into Bio play. He's not too bad at it at all. But yeah, I'm not too certain. I'm not too familiar with HeRoMaRinE's playstyle as of late. He is not the most active player in online tournaments, so I'm not as familiar with him. He is also not a part of a WTL team, so we don't cast him on a weekly basis at WTL or in Kung Fu Cup or anything like that. So yeah, again, he's a player that I don't get to see compete as often as I would like. Unfortunately. Love to see more of Gabe. For now, it's going to be a hatch gas pool, standard opener from Scarlett. We are loading into Golden Aura, a bit of a smaller map, a map where you can be more greedy. If we were casting Dark, for example, Dark is very fond, even in this matchup, to go gasless and to defend with only queens, take a faster third base, and go into roaches. Dark is very fond of like gasless openers into roach or into 2x roach play on Golden Aura. But here Scarlett is playing standard. Is going to be playing standard. Reaper does arrive, going to be chipping away at those lings. And will not quite get... Oh, we'll almost get a ling, not quite. Behind this, third CC before Starport. So once again, the same economic opener that HeRoMaRinE went for in game 1. This, just because the opener is the same, doesn't mean it has to be mech. It doesn't have to be a second factory. It doesn't have to be mech. This can still lead into bio. I mean, that's what's good about this opener, is that it's very economic and very flexible as well. Ratty saw the pics? Oh. Are you talking about the chicken feet KFC? Is that what you're talking about? That's the only picture I see. Beautiful. But I didn't see a Macca's picture. Am I crazy? Did I miss it? I could be crazy. Would be. Oh, in general, okay, I was looking at the other picture. I was looking at the other place. But here we go. Hellions, they do get into the mineral line. A couple of drones are going to be going down. Ooh, we actually get three workers do fall. It's an okay dive, a little bit adventurous. We get another volley off, but we don't quite get a fourth kill. I'm not too sure that was worth it. There it is. I was coping, Poppy. I was like, it doesn't have to be mech. We can go into bio, you know, HeRoMaRinE, you know, Marine is in his name. He likes the bio, Poppy. He can make a man with gun. I'm lying to you. He doesn't know how to play bio at all. It's mech, Poppy. Ah, let's go. So it's gonna be the same build. Yep. 4 for 4 so far. It is going to be a second factory into, I imagine, a reactor. Yep. Oh, actually, no. Tech lab on the way here. This is a different variation. A very slightly different variation. I'm curious how we piece this together. Now, what I mean by that, this time, no Banshee. No Banshee. We're going for a faster tech lab on the factory. This should be for faster Hurricane thrusters. Meanwhile, the first units have arrived. We get a queen. The first queen does go down. Oh, queen does fall. There we go. Hurricane thrusters this time is being prioritized. It is a little bit faster because this time no Banshees. We do not go into Banshee production. Liberator instead. With that extra gas, we have enough gas for the upgrades. So this is going to hit a little bit harder. Oh boy. Is going to hit harder. Meanwhile, back at home, Scarlett is setting up an all-in. She went for it. It was like a 4-minute 20 lair timing. It was a very early lair for Scarlett, and is going for a Roach Queen all-in. Here we go. The queens are amassing. The Dropper Lords are here. We're going for the all-in, but HeRoMaRinE has arrived with Hellion Cyclone. Who does this favor? I'm honestly not too sure. I have seen these Roach Queen all-ins on Grespon a season ago, and they had mixed results. I remember Rainer trying and failing at them back in the day. This was like, what, 4 months ago? But here we go. Scarlett is pushing out. At the same time, HeRoMaRinE could threaten a dive. Uh-oh. HeRoMaRinE could threaten a dive. Should recognize, hold up, where is your army? It's not quite here. He's racing back home. He's turning back around. We have a tank on the way. Third base is getting up and running. Scarlett, can we pull this up? So good. The Roach Ravager does engage with the main army. Queens a little bit busy here on the wall with those depots. Ravagers are being focused down. Uh-oh. Scarlett, her army is a bit disjointed here. The Roach Ravager army is falling. One Ravager does remain. We are getting a lot of SCV damage, though. That is going to be 15 workers going down. Boys, they have to be pulled here at the natural base. Tank is arriving. That's a lot of tanks. 2 of them already sieged up. 27 SCVs fall. A lot of economic damage, but we are holding. We clean up the roaches. We get on top of the queens, and we will shut this down. Reinforcements are trickling in, but we cannot break this. Not with 2 tanks. Not without Ravagers. Brutal lock-ons here on the queens. The queens, they go down. Big pickoffs. A 3rd tank has arrived. Every queen has fallen. We're getting on some of the Ravagers as well. And yeah, this fight is not going Scarlett's way. It has to retreat. Is fighting out of range of the tanks. Can fare a little bit better here. Is denying mining at the 3rd. Behind this, Scarlett only just now droning up. Does have an economic lead though. That's what's important. Has been able to drone up. The army still struggling though. Still efficient trades from the Terran. This is a little bit scary. Yeah, there's a lot of it. We have to get out of here. I was about to say that if we find all these overlords, it's going to be a brutal supply block. Thankfully, Scarlett does escape. Behind this, going towards an infestation pit. I love the fast pit. This does allow you to get into fast infestors. Fungal growths. Ooh, overlords are being shut down though. Ay. Despite overlord speed, they can't escape. And that is still a brutal supply block. That's going to be 4 dead overlords. 3 dead overlords. Oh wait, so my apologies, 10. That's 3 drop lords and 7 overlords. Oh my god. Scarlett does break free. But HeRoMaRinE has map control. The Cyclones have arrived again. Hurricane Thrusters was researched long ago. Armory is on the way for eventual mech upgrades. Well, this 4th base is very exposed. It's a bold 4th. We'll see if we can hold on to it. HeRoMaRinE gets a couple of extra lock-ons on. I'm loving the shuffling of those Cyclones. Did still lose 1. Infestors are on the way. Behind this HeRoMaRinE, he's just building up his tank count, making 3 tanks at a time. That's a lot of tanks. Now, with the amount of Ravagers that we have, Scarlett can have a better trade against tanks overall. I'm liking this army far better than what we saw in Game 1 with the Mass Hydra. I will say that. But the position here is still really awkward. Scarlett has actually droned up to 85. Was quite greedy, droned up heavily. But can we get away with it? Can we get away with it here? Oh, as tanks are sieged, and I'm not too sure if Scarlett saw the tanks. Oh, now she does. Yeah, big volley's going to be going off. And the tanks, they do avoid the vials. For the most part. And where's the buffer? There is no support here. The Ravagers, they're going to be melting against the tank army. Again, she didn't see the tank siege up. And this is a brutal position to push into. Oh my god. And the tank volleys are pretty insane. 15 more roaches on the way. We're going to be able to plow some of these tanks, but again, just very little support here for Scarlett. Did run up heavily, but we need an army. Decent fungal. Pretty good fungal here on the Cyclones, but the tanks, they punish so hard. As we pick up another Infestor, 1 Infestor does remain. The tanks, they're just forcing their way forward. GG gets called. There's just far too much on the ground, and HeRoMaRinE will take the series 2-0. GG. Should we rename Big Gabe to Hero Cyclone? Is that what we is that what we should be doing? Is that where we're at? Again, haven't seen him play Bio against Scarlett in a very long time. But GG, well played. HeRoMaRinE will take the series 2-0. We'll have a solid result here, and yeah, again, it was just a brutal position to be in. Scarlett going for the Roach Queen all-in was an interesting one. Did find a bit of success. If you remember, did kill a lot of workers. A lot of SCVs did go down. You could argue that Scarlett maybe stuck around a little bit too long at the third base, especially, where we bled out a lot of units, and it did seem like Scarlett wasn't aware of the tank transition from HeRoMaRinE, so was kind of caught out. She had mainly a Ravager Infestor composition with very little to support. Whether it's Lings or Roaches, we needed some kind of buffer there. And HeRoMaRinE was able to gain so much value with those tanks. So many volleys were going off as he was able to siege up quite aggressively. But that's also the map working against Scarlett. We spoke about this kind of in the lead up to it, but Golden Aura has a very short rush distance by ground. And these pushes, they don't take long at all to get across the map. On top of it, because of the base that Scarlett took, which was a very aggressive base, it's on the low ground, it's wide open, a very wide angle of attack. It was just very difficult for Scarlett to engage, and she had to, because if she gave up on that position, that's going to be a dead fourth. The fourth base would die there if she had fallen back, so she had to engage. And again, there's just very little room there to work with, and with that, GG, well played. HeRoMaRinE will take it. And with that, that's our first 2 series in the books. First 2 series. You are crazy. I'm crazy. I'm crazy. Oh, okay. I see. The crinkle cut fries. They're beautiful. Oh my god. Okay, with that, we are halfway through the night. We're halfway through the night here. We have 2 more best of 3s remaining. We have a HeRoMaRinE versus Trigger in a Terran versus Protoss matchup. And we also have Solar versus Spirit in a Zerg versus Terran matchup. Now, before we get into our next 2 series, we're going to be going on a short break. Here, and when we return, we'll have the second half here. Again, only 4 best of 3s. Only 4. But a lot of really good matches, a lot of really good series are ahead of us. Look forward to it. Do look forward to it. For now, going to be going on a short break. We'll be back soon with the second half. See you then.